Hi, everybody, and welcome for this session, the Compass Web session with Anthony today. So I'm very happy to be here with you. We have a lot of great things to see. Once again, we are here for a good moment, maybe 1 hour, something like this. And what I would like to test today is, well, something that we probably discussed a few months ago, a few weeks ago, but we didn't get a try. We didn't get a chance to get a look at this, but it's about JHipster Lite. So JHipster Lite is something quite new in the JHipster organization, started by Pascal, that is one of the co-lead of the project. And what we want to do now is to try to discover exactly, to understand exactly what JHipster Lite is, or it can be different from the existing JHipster we already have, and why we should, or we could think it could be a really interesting solution to still generate our applications. So thanks to Pascal that took time to explain me a few things about JHipster Lite. We talk about so many exciting things, but then it's time for us to discover that together. So because this session should be quite interactive, at least I hope it will be, what you can do, okay, what little bag on my computer. So what we can do is to, you can, if people want to do the same things and try JHipster Lite at the same time than me, we can probably check how to do that. So feel free to fork the project and give a try also at the same time. So I can put the chat so I can see that Pascal is here. Hello, Pascal, and hello, everybody. So let me share my screen, and then we will be able to need to share the screen here. Perfect. So this is, well, exactly JHipster Lite. The official JHipster Lite repository is here, so you can access it. I put it on the chat. You can access it here on GitHub under the JHipster, the official JHipster organization, and the project name is JHipster Lite. So what you can do is to start by forking the project. So you can fork it and choose your repository, I mean your organization, your account, and then like me, you will be able to have your own version. So then you can decide to clone it by clicking here and, well, run the git clone command. So when you have that, that means you can start by using it. It better, well, I would say you can still clone the original project, but it's whatever. It's good to have the to fork the project, especially if you want to contribute, or even, hey, we all know, we don't really know if I mean, if we probably we will have some opportunity to contribute to this kind of project, so especially because this project is quite new. So I think if you guys want to starting on contributing on open source software, it's probably a good option. So because when a project is starting in with a good community base now, and also with enough examples to, well, understand what happened here, you can expect to, well, to start easily by contributing. So okay, let me just, maybe I will put it like this. Perfect. So first, so yeah, this is the suggestion, but if you want to contribute, or if you don't know, but fork the project is definitively a good option. So we are here, and this is my own version of JHipster Lite. So basically the same. I didn't make any changes here. So I already have it on my local machine. I don't think we will have time today to explore exactly how the generator part is done, because it's definitively totally different from what we know from JHipster. So JHipster is Yeoman generator. So it's using Yeoman, so JavaScript based to generate Java or JavaScript applications. And here we are talking about the Spring Boot application that can generate Java or JavaScript applications. So basically, we move from JavaScript based to a Java based application, a generator. And one more thing is, if JHipster was or is following, let's say the Yeoman architecture, here we are following the hexagonal architecture. So it's a bit different. So, well, to be honest, I want to say to start with that I'm not an expert in hexagonal architecture. So I'm still learning, and I'm very happy to have this kind of project. So because you can also learn technical but architecture things. It's always a question of organizing code to be more performant, to be more relevant, to disconnect a bit the technical part from the business part, and having a better coverage, having a better code quality, and help people to work together. So all these things are very important, and we can succeed, or we can be better in this way, in this area, by using different architecture, such as the hexagonal one. So anyway, that is interesting to know that we didn't only change the base technology to generate something, we also changed, and because we learned from the previous things we did. So we also learn about how we can make it better, or how we can improve what we did before. And this is why we have some differences, especially about the architecture things. So yeah, anyway, we are not here to talk about that. So but it's quite interesting to understand also that it's not only the result that will be different, also we made it, we are making it. That is very interesting. So we will probably spend more time in the future to understand that, and maybe to try to understand how JHipster Lite has been made. Anyway, so if you want to start, you need to fork the project, or you need to clone the original project. Anyway, both can work, but I would suggest to fork it as you have now your own project. One more things. If you feel, if you like, and if you want to support the project, you can star it like this here. You can put a star here. It's really appreciated, since it helps the project to have a better visibility. So please, people, if you want to support the project, just star it, and I will be grateful. Well, so as I said, I have my JHipster Lite version in on my GitHub, and I already cloned it, so it's available under my project. So no. So I have everything here. Okay. So this is the JHipster Lite project. So what we'll do is because I put an L list, but this is what I wanted to do is I want to go there first. And because, as I said, it's a Spring Boot application, what we can do is to run it using the ambient wrapper. So I'm not sure if we need to use the Spring Boot run, or if we have default profile. Let's try. Oh yeah, one more thing. No, you can use the ambient W. One more thing. Oh, it's working. Well, one more thing is be sure to use the Java 17 version. It seems that I have this 17 version installed here, but probably I changed it before. Let me check. Yeah, okay, so my default version is 11, but I think here, but I already changed it before starting the stream. So I have the 17 here. So I'm using SDK man. So if you want to get a look, please, SDK man. So if you want to easily move to different version, I suggest you, so people that already don't already use that, to use SDK man. So basically it will help you to change the Java version from let's say your regular version to another one. So for example, if you're not using the 17 version of Java on your computer, but you need it for JHipster Lite, yeah, it's not an issue because you can use SDK man to easily switch to different version. And you can define a default version like me as 11, and if you want, you can move to the 17 just in this session. So that means JHipster Lite is starting. So you can usually you will start it as a regular Spring Boot application, even I will say a regular JHipster application, just by running the MVNW, so the MVN wrapper. And when the application is started, you can access it through the localhost 7471. And let's get a try. But we have a ton of things to say here. But first things is the main things, the place you should check. Not probably first, but anyway, you should check is the Swagger. So yeah, everything you can do with JHipster Lite is available under API. You have some problem for displaying your screen. Oh, there is some issue with my screen. I think, well, I can see that everything is okay for me, but is there any issue? Let me check that. Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see on YouTube. Okay, so for me, it's okay. So let me stop and restart this. Let me check it again. Okay, let's wait a few minutes. Well, okay, it should work now. So I hope, I don't know if it's happened for a long time. So I'm sorry, people, if you don't have any. Yeah, it's better. Yeah, I don't know why. Well, sometimes shit happen. Anyway, but I don't remember where I was. Anyway, I was saying that before, if you want to access to JHipster Lite, but you already have the link into the chat. And one more things I added is to start the project here. So I don't know if people saw that. And then I show you how to start the JHipster Lite by running the Maven wrapper. And yeah, also about SDK man. So SDK man is very interesting if you want to switch to several Java version. I think also you can also use it for maybe GraalVM, and I'm not sure about npm. So I'm using nvm in this case. But anyway, but it's useful. So you can run directly here. So yeah, once again, use Java 17, and so you will be able to run it and to access the Swagger UI. So as I said, probably the Swagger UI is the place you will find all the endpoints available for JHipster Lite. So it's quite simple because JHipster Lite exposes everything under endpoint. So instead of running a CLI or running a JavaScript, or let's say, what is it? Yeah, JavaScript application or something like this. Everything is available under HTTP endpoints, so under REST API. So you have everything here. But as you can see, we have a lot of endpoints. And even if all these things are well defined, I mean, in defining categories. So Vue, TypeScript, Svelte, Spring Boot, different Spring Boot things such as user, Webflux, tools, Spring Cloud, and so on. So we have a lot of things. So if I want to start an application, probably I will not be able to exactly know where I need to go to start. And it could be, I mean, if you are quite comfortable with JHipster Lite already, yeah, that makes sense. But if you are quite new, especially like me, for example, you will probably suffer from finding all these things. Quentin is here, so hi Quentin. So Quentin also contribute to this project. And so the thing is, okay, so now we need to provide another solution to the users to use JHipster Lite. And this is why if you access directly to the root URL, so basically it should be localhost 7471, you will be able to access to the JHipster Lite UI. So the JHipster Lite UI is very new. I mean, if before that, all the actions have been made through the API directly by calling the API through the Swagger UI. But as I said, if you are new, if you don't know exactly how it works, yeah, it could be a bit difficult to start using the API directly. So you need to understand everything. So then, now we are here, it's a bit easier because you can see that we just need to fill the form, select the different options, or type into the categories and select what we want to generate and what in which order. So first, just to be sure you are, or we have on the same level of knowledges, you need to know that this front-end application is very new. I mean, it's like even it's a better version. So as you can see, and if you try it, you will see that not everything is working. So I mean, some behavior has not been added yet, and we don't have all the endpoints available. So as you can see, well, maybe we can keep the Swagger UI open, by the way. But as I said, is you can find everything here. You have everything, so you can take all the available endpoints here, and you can call them, by the way. But if you check that, you can see that there is less things. That makes sense because yeah, once again, everything are made step by step. So the first idea was to create it, to create the page, the landing page, to create the application, to start with using JHipster Lite, then improve it slowly to, well, have a really great experience to generate application. But for the moment, it's still in progress. So this is why you will not find everything, and you will not be able to generate or choose all the options. But, well, this is not an issue for us because as we discover it, we probably don't want to check everything today. So that's great. Oh, so the first things, even, the UI is let's try to discover everything. No, I wouldn't say anything else. Let's try to discover that. So what you have here is the project configuration. So basically, the metadata you need to define to make the generation work, or to start generate things. So it should be the first step you need to follow to make it work. So the first thing is the path where you want your application to be generated. So that means, let's say, yeah, I will open a new one. Okay. So let's say I will generate something in my TMP folder, as I used to do when I want to try something, and probably I will want to generate something in this folder under the JHipster Lite, Lite folder. So what I will do is to start by putting TMP and JH Lite here. So you can put everything you want, but be sure to exactly know what you put here, because if you put something like this, oh, you everything will be generate under the main folder and then the root of your operating system. So it could be a bit difficult to find it. And once again, for the moment, it's still a fresh version, so we don't have any control about how you are generate or where you are generating your application. So be sure to put the right values here. Yeah. So basically, I should only need to put something here. And because if I don't fill the base name, the project name, the package name, and even the server port, you will leverage from the default values. Oh, Pascal is asking me, do you delete your old folder? Yeah, I deleted it. Yeah, because we did some trying and we already created something that the name is JHipster Lite, and me. Oh, I have a lot of things here. Test, but I don't have any. Yeah, I'm not changing. And even I can remove everything here, so we will have a better view. Too many things. What? Yes. Permission denied. Permission denied. Permission denied. Oh my god, too many permission denied. Anyway. Probably. Oh, okay, Virtual Chrome. Okay, probably is already in use. Oh, anyway, so it's not an issue. I don't care about that. But yeah, you can see that I have no folder JHipster Lite, so that will create a new one. So I'm supposed to keep all these things empty because I will use the default values. And what I need to do, so this is the different properties you need to give to the generator to make it work. Here you have the options. So what you want to do is to select the option you want to display or you want to make the things appear. So for the moment, this is just a placeholders. So these options, well, how can I say that? These actions to display the different options are not working as expected. So basically, we can expect that if I'm clicking on the Angular client option, I will only see the Angular stuff here. Okay. So for the moment, we don't use that because it doesn't work, but just a reminder, it's a really fresh version, new version, and what we can do, what we want to do then in the future is to be able to select the different option we want to generate something with, and then select, well, let's say it's an option, and in these categories, option categories, we can select something different. But I don't want to say too much things because we will discover that. Oh, sorry. So that means we have the initialization, the different initialization. We have these initialization categories, the Spring Boot category, the Angular, Reactive, Vue.js categories. So the main difference, this is what we need to understand, because this is really, really different from what we have with JHipster. Is the main difference is, instead of asking you firstly all the questions or giving you all the options you can select for application and then generate all the things in one shot, JHipster Lite make the things all totally different, and you have to call all the different options you want to apply to your project. So that means I need to initiate my project. Then I need to add Maven. If I want Maven, or if I want Gradle, I need to call the Gradle endpoint instead. Then I need to add the Java base. Okay, it's something specifically made for initiated Java application. Then if I want a Spring Boot, for the moment I probably only have, no, I have only Spring Boot, excuse me. But maybe in the future I will be able to choose Quarkus. So that means I will be able to not adding Spring Boot, but adding Quarkus instead, or having the choice between both. So that means I will init and then Maven and then Quarkus. While for the moment I can do init, Maven, and Spring Boot. So you have to execute each step one by one to every time generate the associated files, the attached files. So that is very different from what we know from JHipster, because instead of first choosing everything and then click on one button generate, you need to click on several buttons but make it step by step. One good point with that is every time you ask for generation, you understand and you really own what you are generating. So for example, if I want to generate, let's say, let's take an example with a front end. If I want to generate an Angular application, I click here, and what I will have is only the Angular stuff. So even if I have, let's say, 20 files, I'm pretty sure to understand that, okay, in this file I have some app components, I have, I don't know, app modules, I have my still files such as CSS files, maybe some configuration and so on. So that means I don't mix everything with Spring Boot configuration, with I don't know, packages and default packaging application, or Git in your files or something else. So I can't easily understand what I'm doing each time I'm applying a new generating stuff. And you know that somebody, and not somebody, sometime, and this is what I understood from my own experience, is when you study by coding a new application, you don't always know what you will have, what you will need. So sometimes you take elements by default. I say, I don't know, maybe I need a front end. I'm not sure, but maybe I don't need. I don't think so. Well, I'm not sure, but well, because I need to choose, I will choose the default one. And this is why I'm generating an Angular application, even if I don't need it yet. With JHipster Lite is a bit different. You are starting, initiate your application, and then if you need to add a front end, you just have to click, or you just have to call the right endpoints, and it works. So this is why everything is very, very different from what we already know. But anyway, let's start initiate it. So the first thing is, once again, we will when we will click on here. So I said that we have some categories. So initialization is category, so you can find all the things to initiate your project. Spring Boot to add Spring Boot, or to add Spring Boot options, implementation. But so when we will click here, we will call the application, the generator, to generate our application, and giving this project configuration to generate things in the right path, with the right base name and so on. So that means because this is, once again, this is the first version, we can't expect to have some pop-up or everything. So basically we click, everything is executed, and we can check the terminal to ensure that it's working. So if I'm click on init, and this is my let's go to the log here. So I will put it. So this is my log. So, and maybe I can do it like this. Let's give a try. So I hope people on YouTube can see it well, and just want to be sure that it's working as expected, because I don't want to face to some issues. Okay, so this is my application, this is my logs, and if I click on initialization and I have the JHipster Lite, I'm clicking on the init and it's working. So what I can see is, just make it more, what I can see is from the log, some file has been added. So the initialization, we can see that we added the README, the git ignore, the git attributes, some pre-commit things, package.json, and very basic. So if I will go here, so what I would like to do is to open my IntelliJ. So I think it will be easier to you to understand what we are talking about. So this is my, I will trust the project. So this is my application. This is my IntelliJ here. So I have my, so I have my running application JHipster Lite. This is the JHipster Lite logs, and this is my IntelliJ. Oh my God, I didn't put it in the right, I didn't open it in the right folder. Where I am. Oh, okay. I know. So I need to go into the JHipster Lite instead. That should work. Great. So this is my JHipster Lite, as you can see. And well, I really like the Git menu here because you can see exactly what you have. This is what we generated, what we've just generated. See, so if let's with the init. So this is the just file to the init. So we don't talk about Java, Maven, Spring Boot, nothing related to that. Nothing. It's really, it's like, it could be, I don't know, it could be just a project that contains Markdown file. Maybe it could be something like this. So we have the README. So for example, we have the pre-commit hook. We have a package.json that contains some prettier things. So for example, prettier is very interesting to format your different files. So it's supported, we can see here, Markdown file, JSON file, YAML, HTML, JS, TypeScript, CSS, and Java, and even more. So you have, so the first initialization step, adding all this stuff, all these different let's say configuration files. So you have everything out here. One thing is about this history.json file contains, for the moment, it only contains the different service ID you have called using JHipster Lite in the right order. So it's starting by, for example, here we can see that we have called the init service. So what I will do is to start by committing the files. So let's say, for example, init my project. And this should be the first step every time you are creating a new application. So you are initting, you are calling the init project, and you can commit that. So then you can see that we have a base for a project, but as I said, it's doing nothing. So what we should do then is to, I will go back here. So I call the init, no, I will call the Maven. So I want my project to be a Maven project. So I will click on Maven, and what I can see is the generator as adding the POM, the Maven wrapper, and the POM.xml in the Maven wrapper. Let's go back to the IDE, and what we can see is we have the POM.xml, the Maven wrapper, and if we open it, we can see that we have nothing than the default Maven elements we have here. So I would say that it's like, at this stage, we can see that it's probably something you could have by generating a new Maven project using some plugins in your IDE, so for example. So probably something a bit better, because you have here the package.json configuration, or well, the package.json, the main package.json things to retrieve and define prettier editor config and git ignore or git attributes that sometimes it's missing when you are generating or when you are using plugins to start your application faster. But here, basically what we have is just a simple Maven project. So what I will do is to say, I want to add Maven. So I'm adding Maven. I'm adding Maven. Well, that is good things, but definitively this application is not working. Oh, I'm missing this file. Okay. Anyway, so that's good. So I can start by creating. I can start by developing this application. So I mean, I don't need to add Spring Boot. I don't need to add, I don't know, to add Angular or React things. What I need here, or I think what I have here is enough to start developing a Java application. And I don't need to have more things than that. So if you want to, you can, that means you can also use JHipster Lite to start simple Java application. And we're not talking about web application. We're talking about Java, raw Java, classic Java applications. So that means I can starting by create the different Java structure here, and I don't need to have more things. But well, this is not what I want to do now, but I think it could be a new use case to use JHipster as we have before with the JHipster, with the legacy JHipster way of work. So instead of, we can load the Maven project, run npm install. Yeah, so that means instead of, once again, generating everything, you generate things step by step. And that means for some reason, you can stop you at one stage to create, to develop something very different from what we used to do with JHipster. So in this case, it could be a classic Java application, library, something like this. Okay, got it? So this is why it could be also interesting and open new reason to JHipster, open new use cases. Hello, new use cases. So then I will click on Java base. So now you understand what I'm doing. Every time, so the initialization contains here Maven, or init, Maven, Java base, and a front-end Maven public plugin, even if the front-end Maven plugin will be used after that. But what I will do is then to move into the different initialization process steps to ensure that I have all things initiated. So I don't need to initiate all the things. So probably what it needs is to, well, I would say that init is the first things we need to start with for sure. However, it will make no sense. Then you have Maven that will probably make sense, but you can switch it to Gradle, and we will see about Java base. I can see that. I can see a message. So Armel say, I want to contribute to the project, but I don't know where to start. So hey, Armel, this is I think it's really easy. So what you just need is to go into the JHipster Lite. So once again, I will put it on the chat if you want. So what you should do is to access it, create a new fork by clicking on fork here, and choose your own organization to create your own version. And then you can check the different issues you have. So what I said, and I think because it's a really good opportunity for new contributors to contribute to JHipster Lite, because this is a quite new project. So you have a lot of things to do, and probably also the project is quite open to a lot of suggestion. And as Pascal say, yeah, the team will be glad to help you. So I'm pretty sure that all these people can help you on onboarding, creating, and yeah, continuing on doing a lot of things. So even I think there is a lot of tickets here, but probably they don't cover everything. So if you think that we should, I don't know, improve something, you can still create new issues here, and from that let know the community that you can improve in some way the generator or the website. So let's say, for example, I said the website, but the web application. So this web application could be easily improved. So I guess we can have good, or let's say this is a good way to start with contributing. Not necessarily contributing to the generator itself, but the tools around that. So it could be a first step, and then move slowly into the more core code. Got it. So I click on the Java base things, and the Java base will initiate the necessary file to start developing in the hexagonal architecture way. So once I have created that, or I mean call the right things, I can see that I have a few Java files that have been added, especially about assert, exceptions, things like this, so test files and so on. So unit testing and etc. So all these files are useful to then develop respecting the architecture, the project architecture. So this is why this is something we need to then move to the real options, technological options that is very related to the architecture. So let's try to then Java base. So as I said, we can see, yeah, commit anyway. So let me check here. So as I said before, you can see check the history. So what we call is we call the init, then we call the Maven Java because I want a Maven project, and then we call the Java base. And then what we need to do is to add some server options now, because what I have here once again is a basic Maven project, and I want to make it work using or as a web project using Spring Boot. So what I can do is to now go to the Spring Boot option or Spring Boot section. So once again, this option here is not working, but the goal is to when I will be able to click here to having access to only Spring Boot elements, I mean for the server side. So here I have my Spring Boot entries, Spring Boot categories here. And I can decide to, I have two options, that is Spring Boot and Spring Mvc Tomcat. So once again, what we can do is to, starting on Spring Boot and, oh my God. Oh yeah, there is some troubles with my screen. Thank you, Pascal. I don't know what happened. I think it's better now. Let me do a check. That is really an issue because, oh my God, I hope you don't miss anything. Yeah, so I will keep an eye on YouTube anyway. Yeah, so what I was saying is I want to start with Spring Boot, but what I want to do is to, to be able to choose also inside Spring Boot option what I want to add. Not necessarily adding everything at one row in one shot. Yeah, I'm the say of your life. Yeah, I don't know why. Oh my God. Anyway, so I can click on Spring Boot, and what happened, guy? But you already know that it's adding Spring Boot's files. So if I'm going back here, I will be able to have now application properties. So it is the Spring Boot properties files. So several versions for local, for probably depth test. I have integration test. I have the main Spring Boot application, the main Spring Boot file, and same for testing and the logback. And then if I check my POM XML, I can see that the Spring Boot version has been added, and also some dependencies, and yeah, that's all. So that means this application is a Spring Boot application that could match with what you can have if you are using the start.springboot.tech. I think that's start spring.tech. No, what is it? Start.JHipster.tech? No. Spring.tech? No? .dev.com. Oh my God. Start Spring Boot. Oh, Spring is start spring.io. Yeah. shout out to oh no, I would say shout out. That is the name in English. Shout out. Yeah, Spring Initializer. Shout out to Josh Long. Start.spring.io. So if you are using that, probably we have the same result or something really close to what we have here. Even if what I said before is Spring, JHipster also provide with the init a few files such as the Predator configuration, the packages, and so on. So you will have more things here, but probably what you will have is something really close to what you can have using the Spring initializer. Ooh, it's not easy to say for our French guy team. I swear. Great. Oh, still have some issue. I can see it now. Don't know why. I'm guessing that okay. I'm guessing that it's because I'm switching from the different views. Maybe because of that. I'm so sorry. So I will try to not. Well, I can't. Definitively, I need to change to different screen. So I don't know how to proceed. So let's hope it will not happen once again. So then we added the Spring Boot here. We need to commit. Oh yeah, we need to add Spring Boot. I should uncheck the analyze code because it's taking too many times every time. I trust JHipster enough to not analyze my code, my just generated code. Great. So what I can do now is to try. Okay, so I'm supposed to be able to start the application now because I have my application. So what I did is I have generated a Maven Java Spring Boot application. So using the Maven wrapper, I should be able to use it. But the thing is, we don't have for the moment a default profile. So what you need to do is to use the Spring Boot run, the default Spring Boot option. And what happened is I'm not using the right Java version, as I said during the introduction of this stream. So don't be like me, update your Java version. So let's say, I say you can use SDK. I don't know if you can see it well. I don't want to move to the different. I don't know if I can. So I hope it's big enough. So what you can do is to use the SDK. So you can use SDK, use Java and the version. So then you can use it for this shell session. So that means if I'm using the MVN wrapper and Spring Boot run, this will launch my Spring Boot application. So probably you will expect it to be available under localhost 8080. But the fact is that is not true because we didn't have any server, or let's say application server yet. So that means the Spring Boot application is running the main Spring Boot, the main Spring class here, but finally there's nothing. It is doing nothing else. So this is why we don't have access to any HTTP or any, how can I say that, UI, because we don't have any application server. So you know now what will be the next up. What will need the next step is you have to click on Spring Mvc Tomcat here. That will basically add Spring Mvc with the Tomcat server. So In this case, we are generating more files than previously. Probably one of the options that generates the more important file, the more important number of files, because um, we are adding Spring Mvc, we are adding Tomcat configuration stuff, and all the exceptions that comes with, so exception management. So all this exception management, adding a few files, as we can see here, the bad request, all the exception, and all the tests that every time we have a test, the cause filter with the test, the cause properties, the error consent, and so on. So we have also every time we have a test file linked to the original file. So I can see also that the configuration is updated, the application properties. So what I can do is to add everything. Before I can try to start my application again. So where is my terminal? Okay. So I will execute the same command, but now I should be able to have something running. So so the difference from the previous step was, now I have my service, Tomcat service, that is available here. So I can access it to localhost 8080. And I need to go here to show you. Okay, so of course, we have nothing than the default page. That is basically an error page. So this is the white label error page. So this is the default page. We have nothing like that because we didn't have any front-end technology options before. So JHipster provides us, or I'd say Spring Boot provides us this default page. So that makes sense. But that means our application is working. So if I want to start coding here a Spring backend application, I can do it. Okay, so I still have some issues. I need to stop sharing my screen to share it again. So I said, okay, I said that I have my, I can start coding here some stuff. And the thing is, if you check that, you can see that the architecture is a bit different from what we used to know. Is instead of having a layer, to see, yeah, I'm checking the YouTube, the YouTube window to ensure that everything is working properly. Yeah, so what I was saying is, instead of having the classic layer architecture, like, you have the domain, you have the service, you have the repository, let's say domain, repository, service, and web service, we have here a different approach, that is the hexagonal architecture. So everything is split into different. Well, once again, I'm not an expert, so I want to say something wrong. But what you can have is when you can understand is that the business code is split from the technical code. So the technical implementation is placed in such folders, while the business code, we don't have any business code for the moment here, but business code should be placed into a different into a different folder. So by doing that, that means you don't mix your business to your technical implementation. So that is, I think this is a good point, that it allows us to being more flexible, and allows us also to have less deep link to the framework, to the tools to all the choices we made. So it's probably a really good option there. But the truth is, you need time to understand that. So it's like adapt yourself to understand it. So if you are already comfortable using this architecture, probably you will be able to understand it quickly. But if, like me, you don't have a lot of experience in that, probably you need to understand everything. So once you have everything, when you understood everything, probably that is well not a big deal anymore. But well, so if I'm not saying something wrong, everything that is inside the primary is what you have as an entry of your application that is coming outside to inside your application. Then when you have something like the secondary, is something that is will be something that will come outside your application, will go outside your application. So you have, this is why we define the entry element and the what can I say? What is the name in English? What is outside, coming outside. And from that, you have your architecture, your business implementation. So this is why we are also technical and business things. But well, once again, probably it's not very clear because I'm not totally comfortable with it. Well, maybe we can have an idea by checking the JHipster Lite. I have JHipster Lite here. So because JHipster Lite is also using the this architecture. I mean the generator. So the generator is using the same ID, the same architecture. What is it? So what I have, Susman, Docker, Java. Well, wait a minute. Where I am, yeah, Susman, Java, command error. Okay, so yeah, so let's get a look at that. So you have here, for example, the generator, and inside everything is, oh, by the way, everything is under, is split it into business feature, into feature instead of technical layer. So we are not mixing every services into one element or one folder, one section, because everything is separated by feature. So you can see that we have the client, we have the init. So for example, the init, this is something we talked before. We use, init maven, init, and so on. So we have the init. And here we have the application domain infrastructure. So we will not dive into all these things, but you can see that the architecture is really different from what we already know. I think if you are using a layer approach than an hexagonal approach. So it could be something very interesting we could discover in the next live, but not for today. But basically, this is the kind of organization you can expect to have for your generated application. Is the same idea, exactly the same. So yeah, so Armel said, will JHipster Lite replace JHipster in the future? Well, Pascal said, I don't think so. Yeah, I think, well, of course, we can't know. We can't say that it will replace or not. It's a very different way of work and different ideas. Maybe that one of these two versions, one of these two vision will be more used or will be more popular because of, I don't know, because of habits, developer habits, because of use cases, because of hype. Also, we can define that. We can know that. And the only things we can know is that for the moment, one thing we are sure is JHipster Lite is not at the same level that JHipster is, of course, because this is something still new and we don't have all the options that already exist in JHipster. Even if I think for the moment it's quite close, but I think the general experience using JHipster Lite is more advanced that we have with JHipster. That makes sense anyway. Uh, First things, and the second things is, yeah, as I said, one is using Spring Boot and API, while another one is Yeoman. So it's totally different, and even the result you will have, you can expect having from another is very different. So I think it's interesting to have both and to understand both, but definitively, it could be very interesting to see how in the future all these two approach will be adopted by the community. Anyway, yeah, let's see. One more things. So I said we don't have. So what time is it? Oh, it's like 1 hour. We are studied the stream. So then what we need is to, maybe we can finish it by adding a front end. So that could be interesting stuff. Where is my application? This is here. So I'm just checking that this is not failing. This is not begging. So what I want to do, yeah, what I want to do is to add some Angular stuff. So I can add Angular React View, of course. So I want to add Angular style here and to generate Angular, because I'm more comfortable with Angular because of my own experience, but I'm pretty sure that everything is quite the same. Even if, well, I recently worked with React, and I can't say that this is not bad. Even I will say this is quite good. Really different from what I know from Angular, but yeah, I like it, really. So whatever, I can select the application I want and click here, and I think you have understand. So we can see that now I have my Angular application available on my project. So if I accessing it again, I can see that I now have a web app folder here with some code that's allow me. Oh, it's bugging. I think I have some issue when I'm moving into the different screen. This is why it's bugging. Yeah, I'm pretty sure of that. Oh, that is really bad news. I think this is the first time that happened. So I don't know if there is a new, sometime, software update that's caused that. Yeah, so what you will have, what you can expect is to have all these web app things here. So we have the web app here. And basically, this is a classic Angular application. So I guess you can start it from it, or I think you can use the packages, and you could probably have something here, ng start, ng serve. So what you can do is to go here and click on ng serve, and you will be able to, now it's, oh, okay, maybe I need to do npm install first and then launch the application and do the npm start, by the way, instead of ng serve. Well, it's the same things, but using npm could be more consistent. Oh, I need some water, but I don't have any water. Speaking too much. Okay, so then we can run npm run start, or npm start, I think work. So I will be able to access my application. So that means I have my web app and my backend that are belonging to the same application repository. Yeah, repository. But for the moment, they are not working together. So if you check that, I can see that my Angular application is available on the port 900. Oh, 9000, excuse me. 9000. So that works. And I have everything. So of course, for the moment, this is a really basic Angular application. But I guess this is what people expect to have most of the time. Because, yeah, what we can do is to provide to our users the right tools to do the right applications, but we can't provide them uh, the all this business code, all this business implementation, because it's very hard and it really depends all the time on what you will do with that. So yeah, having a working Angular application inside my application, so I mean that everything I can start easily by developing my front end things, is probably enough. Oh, I just figured out I didn't, excuse me, I didn't commit these things first. So let's try to add Spring Mvc concat. Yeah, so well, anyway, the commit is not, it's not perfect here, but well, it's not really an issue. But you have understand the ID. So every time that is a good option to, every time I'm generating new things, I'm committing it. So then I can easily find, or let's say understand what I'm doing. So if I'm starting a new feature that involves to create Angular front end, I can start by creating the front end with JHipster, commit it, and then add my own code. I can see Renan. Yeah, yes, Pascal agreed too. JHipster Lite will be easily adopted by companies too. Yeah, probably. Probably the thing is, we had a lot of people that was saying, "Oh yeah, JHipster is great, but most of the time I have a lot of files I can't really manage. I don't really understand. I don't need them." So instead of using JHipster, I prefer to pick existing code, sometimes from existing JHipster application instead of using it, because every time I need to generate a new application and then to modify, to delete a lot of things, and I don't want to spend time deleting all these things, because when even some of my developers don't really understand what happened here. Okay, makes sense. So maybe having something that is working differently by letting you adding stuff one by one, it will make more sense, at least in this case, of course. Yeah, so you see here we are adding Angular. Okay, so what I was saying before is I have two applications here, the backend Spring Boot application, the front-end Angular application. And why I want to do is to make them work together. So I mean, if I start my application, I will expect to have access to my front-end application. So if I start my backend one, I will expect to having access to my front-end one. So what I could do now, and that means also accessing both to one place, so one URL. So what I can do is to go into the initialization stuff and then click on the front-end Maven plugins. If you remember, I said that we will need that after having Angular anyway, any front-end things. So because I have added I'm using Maven, I can add the front-end Maven plugin here. And if I'm going back to my project, I can see now that I have some new things, especially the front-end Maven plugin. Yeah, in my poem.xml and the test, the variety test. So by having that now, I can run. So I'm stopping my Angular application and I'm stopping my backend application, and I will run it using the Spring Boot run to start both. So that will mean I can start my front-end and backend at the same time. That is basically how JHipster works, actually. But this is why we need the specific plugin. So if you still need to, or if you still want to develop your application as a monolith application, you will probably need to do that. In this project, JHipster Lite, you community have chosen Vite instead of Webpack with React View. I would like to know a little more about your choice if possible. So I can answer that, but I guess Pascal will probably do, or maybe anybody else. Great. So yeah, now my application is started, and I'm having, if I'm accessing the localhost 8080, I having directly access to JHipster Lite. I mean to the Angular frontend. So the difference is, before that we needed to starting both the backend and the frontend, and then we have this all these things available under the same URL. So this is where we can see, or we can understand that we have our application. So I would say adding front end, Maven plugin. So this is where we can understand, we can see that we have a really cool full stack application using Maven, Spring Boot, Angular plugins that come with, and an hexagonal architecture. So to have that, we run, excuse me, I will close everything. We run even this one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different steps, one by one. Yeah. Okay, so Pascal said about a few things. I was reading the chat. So Pascal said it is Vite is the default options provided by Vue 3, and it's very, 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 very fast. And I choose Angular, which use the CLI, the Angular CLI or React Vue. The difference is big. Okay, so let's try. Okay, we can try it. So I guess I can remove my web app here, and I will be able to generate a Vue application. So I guess it should work. The only things I'm not sure about is what happens if, oh, I have several things. Oh yeah, I need to clean it also because I have the same. So build should be this one. Okay, I'm cleaning it a bit. Probably I'll have the same thing. Yeah, I have something. Or I can clean it. Or better things is, let's try to do something different. Let's try to remove that. And instead of that, what is it? Web app. I can go here and add Angular and revert commit. Okay. And then I can generate view again. So basically what I did is to remove, instead of removing Angular, I just reverting it that is more clean. And let's check the package isn't. No. Okay. That seems, no, have just twice? Yeah, why? Oh, I still have Angular things. Why? Oh, probably because I... Oh no, that's a bit strange. Yeah, anyway. We can try. Maybe... I don't know if it will work. We have some libs. Oh no. Yeah, the npm install is not working because of all this packaging stuff. Okay, so let's try remove all this one and this one, and I guess this one too. This start build. And I guess they are the same, but we should remove this one. Great. Let's give it a second try. Yeah, I didn't do the things really clean. Oh, npm install. What? I am something wrong. 227. Engines. Yeah, another option is to generate a new project. Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but I don't want to give up. No, I think I have just removing something that I should not. Yeah, and so. Oh. That works. No. Yeah, no, it works. Yeah. Too much commas. Too much commas doesn't work. It doesn't work. That's great. Okay, so now it works. So my bad. What I can do is to run my application again. View is supposed to be really, really fast. Okay, team, we are here. So let me check if I have localhost 880. Yay! That works. So don't do things like me. Try to modify an existing project without reverting code or doing things like, too quickly. Yeah, you can have some troubles. Anyway, that works. Good point, Tim. So what time is it? Oh my god, it's mainly 1 hour and a half. So we saw a lot of things, a lot of interesting things. So I was planning maybe to cut it a little bit something, but I think we will not have time. I want to keep it less than 1 hour and a half. So that means we should probably stop here and just try to summarize what we saw today. Is so basically, if you want, let me just put it some one more things on the chat again, is if you want to access to the project, be sure to do it here, and please give a star so it will help the project to grow. And if you want to start and contribute on it, you can do it directly by picking some issues or creating new issues if you want to improve what we have for the moment, or if you have some new ideas. Another good point is you can see that we have some pull requests. So if you want to review them, if we need, you can do it. And then, yeah, if you want to having a better view of what is supported for the moment by the JHipster is you can check everything under the Swagger UI and categories. So, for example, continuous integration using GitHub Actions. What are we? Something that could be interesting. We didn't see. Excuse me. The banners. You can define banners. What do we have? Some brokers, caching, create databases. Yeah, we didn't had any databases, so you can have databases or even database migration using a Liquibase or Flyway. Security, cloud tools, user, webflux, Svelte, TypeScript, and Vue. That's we already check. So you can also try it by yourself and using both the JHipster Lite UI or the Swagger UI that contains all the options. From my side, I think I will try to get a deeper look to JHipster Lite because that is very interesting and I have some ideas. But every time, what I need is I need to find time. But you know that's basically each time per week. I'm also doing the cold and chill session. And probably the cold and chill session could be about JHipster Lite for the next one. So I know that we need to find something. We need to finish something about Vue.js we studied a few weeks ago. But probably a good cold and chill session could be about contributing JHipster Lite and also contributing JHipster Lite to create components and in composable apps. Yeah, coverage. One more things that is very important, and Pascal is right, is the coverage that, well, we're talking about the generated application, but also it's the case for the generator. The coverage is 100%. So basically everything is covered. So that means if you want to contribute, be sure to adding tests for new code, because otherwise your PR will be rejected, or at least people will ask you to add some to fix the coverage. So coverage is very important, and this is why, because it's important. Well, because we put a lot of effort on making the coverage good. You as a user, or our user can expect to have a really good coverage level for their applications. So this is important. Yeah. So I think we saw a lot of things. Just to finish about that, let me. Yeah, one more things we can. So what we can say. So yeah, next week I will be on PTO, so I will not be here to stream. Yeah, the PR won't be rejected. Yeah, it will be. Yeah, the PR won't be rejected, but the CI will not pass. That basically means if you want your PR to be accepted, you need to have a green CI. But of course, I think once again, we want people to contribute, so it's not like a blocking point, but we also want to have a high quality gate. Well, we want to pass the highest quality gate, so that means we ask people to follow the guidelines, and one of the guidelines is to have all the code tested. Yeah. Anyway, one more thing is yeah, next week I will be on PTO. So basically, what I will not stream from my PTO place. Even it could be interesting, but not sure we'll be able to cut there anyway. What happened? Yeah, what is one thing? Second thing is I think Soini is preparing something for next week to stream on next Thursday, and we can expect also another stream in 2 weeks. So once again, maybe we will try to do something about JHipster Lite in next 2 weeks. I need to check that. It will be better. Maybe a coaching session like we did, maybe 1 hour or 2 hours. It could be interesting. So if you want to keep in touch, and be sure to, you can follow me on Twitter, avday4g. So you can having a lot of information there. So basically, I'm tweeting and especially about if we prepare some content like this. So if you want to have more things, so please follow me on Twitter. You can also follow us on YouTube for the next incoming videos we are making with Sony, and you can join us on Discord. So let me check. We have our own Discord, so you can check on Discord here. And let me just send you the invite. So if you want to join us, you can. Good. Oh, let me just change something. Yeah. So you can join us even here. So anyway, we will be happy to discuss with you about JHipster, composable apps, composition, application composition platform, Java, JavaScript, and everything that come with. Thank you everybody for the stream. See you soon. Feel free to subscribe to our Twitter, to our YouTube, and I see you in not next week, so in 2 weeks. Bye bye.